Good morning. Welcome to the neighborhood of Mr. Rogers. This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions, January 15th, 2003. And we are here at the home of Mr. Fred Rogers. Did you know that Mr. Rogers was an evangelical minister for children who preached the gospel of God every week on television, spreading the good news throughout the neighborhood? Welcome, Mr. Fred Rogers.
Thank you, Pamela.
It's good to have you here. So, Mr. Rogers, would you call yourself a televangelist for children?
Pamela, I suppose I like to think of myself as a minister who spreads the good news of the gospel, just as the Apostle Peter called it in the book of Acts. You know, I believe very much in teaching through example, which I think can be just as powerful as preaching.
Well, that's quite an idea. So, do you see yourself as a minister?
Well, I am an ordained minister. And you know, on my television program, I like to think of the space between the television and the children. I like to think of that space as a sort of holy ground.
Okay, that's a remarkable concept. What is your major theology or central message?
I'd say that my main message is I want people to know that you are loved by God, just the way you are.
Oh, that's really nice. I hope children appreciate that message.
Well, you know what else? The song that I sing at the beginning of every show in the program, Won't You Be My Neighbor? That idea for that song is taken straight from the Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus tells the Pharisees, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. When they ask him about the greatest commandment, that is one of his answers.
I'm the receptionist here at J&S. I'd like to be saved. What do I do?
Well, Bertha, you can learn that song too. Well, it's a message that I think applies to adults as well as to children, the idea of loving your neighbor.
So I think what you're trying to say is that we should love our neighbor no matter if he or she is perfect, because no one's perfect.
That's true. You know, when I talk to children, I have to make sure that I'm being very kind and gentle, because I have to make sure that I can soothe the fears that they have of the world. You know, imagine you're a child and coming home from school and turning on the television, and all you see is the violence and the fighting politicians and world leaders. It can be very frightening to a child.
Well, Mr. Rogers, I think you have a great grasp and understanding of the world of children. After 33 years of the half-hour TV show of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, do you have a final message for us?
I'd just like everyone to know that you are loved by God, just the way you are. There is no one else in this whole world who is exactly like you. I think we should all sing one of my personal favorites.
I brought this
Won't
song.
you be my neighbor? It's a beautiful
Day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
That's a great concluding message. Remember Mr. Rogers as the man who spreads the good news of the gospel of grace to children throughout the land. This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions saying good morning.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So, leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, J&S Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories, illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary. You can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.